Hello, 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 what's all this then? Welcome to another installment of Game Speech. I am your host, the last mammoth, in Ice Age, canonically, after the movies, in the manga. Okay, let's get right into it. Fuck it. Today, we're going to be speaking about one of the probably the most unknown games in 2026. Top 5 most unknown games in 2026. You've got Temple Run.
Yes!
You've got Moshi Monsters. You've got Club Penguin. And then you've got Hunted the Demon Forge.
Oh my god!
Yeah, let's get into it. Basically, you've got your bald man, and he's bald as hell. You slapped his head, and it slapped you back. And then you've got a woman with huge tits. They look a bit like tits. Yep. And then these two, they go on an adventure. They're both mercenaries. This is a Bethesda game, so Dragonborn, Dover King and such. Yeah. So basically, these two fuckers make a game together by killing monsters, and a really interesting, I actually need to say, the story of this game was 10 out of 10, while some of the mechanics, which go over later, were not 10 out of 10. The story of the game and the overall vibes and the immersion was 100% there. Hold up. Their names were Caddoc and E'lara, right? So the hot elf and then the bald guy, right? So the bald guy was like the and then the elf was like
I'm marine.
and then that was it. So they were enlisted by like Merlin. Merlin the wizard comes over and he's like, "Where's King Arthur, mate? You gotta find him!" And then they go on a quest to find King Arthur, and on the way they find Indian street food, and they start eating the Indian street food out the chalice or whatever. And they're like, "Maybe we shouldn't be eating this, it doesn't look like it's prepared very sanitarily." And then at the end of the game, if you eat enough Indian street food, you turn into an Indian killing machine. Turn into the King of India. What's his name? M. Night Shyamalan.
Bow before me, your king. Smell the power of my stinky feet.
Yeah, basically, the game released in 2011 was released to mixed reviews, mainly complaints due to the fact, as I mentioned earlier, that some of the game mechanics were kinda funky. It was like a split-paced co-op game, which I really enjoy, and back in the day playing the game, I have very fond memories playing it co-op, but it was Gears of War style combat and like an RPG kind of situation. So just imagine Dovahkiin vs Ruda meets Dom's Death. And that's the game. But it was really fun. Nevertheless, I think the story, the overall immersion, and the gameplay completely outshined over any of its problems, but apparently everybody else thought the game was trash. It just wasn't. It's another one of these games that did not deserve any of the hate, and apparently it was receiving quite from professional publications. It was receiving a lot of feedback, negative feedback. And for that such reason, led to the game's inevitable lack of sequel, because the game, with the producers, it was Brian Fargo. It was produced by him, basically, and he had a lot of ideas for future games, and that was what was always stated since even before the game's official release, when they were still putting trailers with him saying, well, if this goes well, we're going to do this, that, and the next thing, because the whole team really had a lot of ideas to pitch, and a lot of them didn't get into the final game, so a second game is basically required, was his whole thing. And then after that initial kind of like review bomb, or whatever the game got for not having enough lesbians or something, for having too fat tits. The tits were too fat. We can't have fat tits in 2011. Women don't like fat tits. Basically, the game gets shot out of the sky preemptively. There's video interviews and stuff regarding the game. I will play some of that just now.
BFG press event located in the frigid mountains of Utah. And today I am here with...
I'm David Clayman. I'm the Associate Brand Manager on Hunted the Demon's Forge.
All right, David, thank you for taking the time to talk with us.
No problem.
So, David, for those who are unfamiliar, could you give us the rundown on what Hunted the Demon's Forge is all about?
Yeah, sure. Hunted the Demon's Forge is based around three main things. It's based around dark fantasy, co-op gameplay, and action-based cover combat. So with those three things in mind, we're showing off a new section of Hunted at BFG, and we're showing off Crucible, which is the dungeon creation system.
The current whereabouts of the developers of the game, it was developed by InXile Entertainment. The studio head was Brian Fargo. Published by Bethesda, obviously. It became a Microsoft studio, and we know what happens to games studios that get a Microsoft studio. They get boom, 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 straight into the floor. He's still to this day the studio producer executive. They've produced further games such as Wasteland, Wasteland 2, and Wasteland 3, all next level crowd-funded projects. I haven't played these games as well. I can't say necessarily that I'm particularly disappointed with the lack. Usually when I make these videos, the studios do not continue to make games. The games these guys went on to continue to make, so Brian Fargo, Matt Finlay, all have been bangers. Like, I think we spent multiple weeks doing a full completion run with the DLC on hardest difficulty on Wasteland 3, because it was just really funny. It was just really fun to play, fun games. And much is the same with us. He took all of the teams, and like, they were trying to make the best co-op game. Obviously, I will even admit myself, the game was a bit clunky. There was times when shit didn't work, but that's minimal compared to having a multi-billion-dollar game re-released, and it's just got like 2 players and then never gets purchased by anybody.
It's coming now! It's coming now!
The original developers of this game, InXile, and then I've went on to be very successful in my eyes. Obviously not as successful as like the AAA developers and stuff like that, but they don't need to be that. A lot of the original developers of this particular game don't work in conjunction on the other projects anymore, but that's just something that happens with time, I'm supposing. So the chances of getting a sequel for this game are very low, and the game thankfully still can be played and purchased on PC, which when I played it originally, I played it on Xbox 360. And it's pretty good to hear that the game can still be played and still be purchased. I might actually go back to play it because it was very fun. Bethesda Studios, as of today, everybody knows what's going on with them. They're everywhere right now. Bethesda Studios is currently just exited their HR litigatory thing that they were getting sued by the California for not hiring enough people with blue hair.
By the way, did you guys hear that a lot of the accusations from Blizzard were proven to be untrue? In case you didn't know, all of the allegations of sexual misconduct, abuse, harassment, and quote, frat boy culture were entirely fake, and the state of California even admitted that there is no evidence substantiating any of the claims. The entire controversy around Blizzard was set up by California to force the company to stop hiring white men, using Me Too allegations to strong-arm them. Some of the accusations were so bizarre and insane that they included theft and consumption of breast milk during work hours, a rape room named after Bill Cosby, sexual harassment to the point of an employee ending her life. All of these claims were essentially a theater performance over the fact that only 1 in 5 Blizzard employees were women. As a result, Blizzard agreed to pay roughly $18 million in fines and set up HR hiring practices that would discriminate against white men. Internal messages between California Civil Rights Division officials showed the entire thing was a ploy to send a message to the industry to literally ruin video games.
And the people with blue hair were saying that they were like stealing breast milk out of the mouth of infants. Like there were all these evil guys, and apparently it's just all bullshit. So W Bethesda. Yeah. In conclusion, I feel like fucking the story
He was whipping up amazing foods, like making happiness.
was
Actual
cooking
happiness,
straight happiness.
Actual happiness and joy.
Right.
The smell, it was so divine.
And the immersion
making
is
happiness.
cooking
He
straight
was
happiness in the kettle, right? The consistency of the game
Whipping up shit in the kettle.
was like cooking
Boiling
straight
shit.
up
Actual
poo
shit,
in the
like
kettle because
boiling
it
poo
was
in the
really
kettle.
glitchy at times. There was a lot of crash.
Mike, smell
Bandicoot
shit
available at
in the
all times. You would go into an area, crash, or you would do something, game broke. You know what I'm saying? But like, this isn't a game where like it feels like they're holding you down and making you play like missions and stuff, or like they're just shoving a bunch of unnecessary like hatred at the player. Like they're just holding you down, mustard boarding you. Like
Shit! Get the fuck up! Man, put fuck down! Man, where the shit at? Get the fuck up! Oh, well. Fuck, let's play up the hell out of here. Fuck that! I'm gonna beat that bitch ass! I get the fuck out of me!
it's not what the game done. The missions in the game were really fun. The maps were really like well built, well designed. You just fell straight into the story for the entire length, and it was. I will give it this. It wasn't like an awfully long game. But it was a good experience, and the multiplayer aspect, there was more to the game than just the story. It was a dungeon building game. After you were done the game, you could do whatever you want. You could build your own maps in the game. You could run through them with your friends and stuff, and it was all like kind of Gears of War style. So it was like familiar to people that actually, that like actual gamers that played games. You know what I'm saying? So it was just, and it was brand new. It was brand new. You didn't really have a like an MMO RPG where you could build your own maps and run through them and stuff on Xbox at that point. Obviously you had Minecraft, but that's But yeah, in conclusion, good game, no sequel, studio keeps making games, good games, publisher probably needs to sue somebody or many people, and yes, W. Brian Fargo.